We broke up at a different time about 3 weeks ago. I got with another girl and she got with another boy. We both moved on too soon, but we met up again to try and get back together.
Why do people keep staying in toxic relationships? Why subject yourself to the nightmare?
Unpopular opinion, but it's because people are just having sex with whoever they want and think there's not going to be any consequences. Just got done listening to a video about Joe Fazer, Greg Doucette commenting on it. Greg calls himself a relationship coach, but he gives bad advice here and inconsistent advice as well with the views on how this whole relationship thing went. Apparently Joe Fazer's girlfriend was crazy and they fought and she hit him and bit him and he would elbow her back and she's trying to say he abused her and posted pictures of bruises and all kinds of stuff. And they keep getting back together even so, and Greg Doucette's wondering,
why do people keep staying in toxic relationships?
Simply put, sex is meant for marriage, and if you wait till you get married to have sex, you'll have way fewer problems in your life. And I know people are gonna laugh and be like, huh, you need to touch grass. Someone said that in a comment to me before. And that's really unrealistic. But why is that unrealistic? Is it because people are selfish?
And so no matter how that person treats you, for example, Joe Fazer may or may not have treated her horribly, she still can't get over him. She still can't get past the feelings she has with him.
So I've seen this a lot of times in relationships with people. They break up and get back together over and over and over again. And what's one of the common themes? People are typically sleeping together ahead of time because there is a bond that is formed with someone when you have sex with them that attaches you to them. It's something that's meant for marriage. That's the whole reason why a man and woman come together, they get married, and then they have sex. It is the final bond between that couple. And if it's something you wait until you get married to do, that is only with that person and a bond that's strong between you that isn't shared with every person that you've ever dated throughout your whole life. And Greg affirms that in the video without even really realizing it.
If a woman cheats on you and you take her back, it's doomed. You're doomed. You're a moron. Now I get it. The sex is so good. Yeah, you put up with it. But you know deep down that it's not forever.
Right there. You put up with it because the sex is so good, but you know it's not forever. So why are you in this relationship in the first place? Selfish reasons. It's something that you want. You're not actually caring about that person. It's just about what you get out of it. So I'm going to put up with this craziness because the sex is good. The sex is what's holding you together, something that's meant for marriage. And he really cements it even more so in this next clip.
But when you're a woman, particularly a young woman, trying not to get a high body count, trying to be a high value woman. A high value woman to me doesn't just offer themselves to just anyone.
So there we go. If you're a woman, you want to be a high value woman and have a low body count, which I hate that term. People talk about their body counts now. This guy, Joe Fazer, actually made a video a long time ago. I remember watching with him. Another guy, Brandon something.
What are your body counts? In high school, I slept with like 40 people. And then now it's like another like 20. So I'd say like 60.
Really?
Yeah.
As if that's some kind of good thing. But right here we said, if you want to be a high value woman and try to have a low body count, what's the best way to have a low body count, the amount of people you slept with? By not sleeping with them, by having some self-control. You're literally proving the point right here, but for some reason, to him that only applies to women. It doesn't matter if guys sleep around.
You could say he's banging other girls. Of course he is. He's a 20-year-old, good-looking, 6'4" tall multi-millionaire. He shouldn't be settling down. He's 20.
Okay, so if she wants to be a high value woman, she shouldn't be sleeping around, should have a low body count. But he, of course he's banging other girls because he's a high value man. He's attractive. He's only 20. Why shouldn't he do that? So a guy, is he more high value the more people he sleeps with? This intellectually inconsistent, doesn't make sense. I don't get the whole red pill argument that guys say women need to have a low body count, few people they've slept with to be worth something, whereas guys, it doesn't matter because that's just a natural desire that guys have. Girls have that desire too, and it's just as important for a guy to have self-control and abstain as it is for a girl, and that will make your relationship better. Now, you can say I'm wrong, you can say, oh, that's unrealistic, that's silly, but a lot of things in the world would probably improve if people actually waited to have sex. For example, STDs pretty much go away. If you're not sleeping around with everyone just spreading diseases, Well, they're going to go away. The number of abortions that happen would go down dramatically because people aren't going to be sleeping with tons of people, increasing chances of getting pregnant. Sex would be happening in the bonds of marriage, and if you get pregnant, it's not going to seem like as big a deal, even if it wasn't planned, because hey, I'm in this family unit the way that sex was supposed to be, and where children are supposed to be born. And because of that, there'd be fewer children outside of marriage, and fewer single-parent homes, which is good for a child to be raised up and not be crazy in the head, believing all this LGBT stuff that goes on. And people would probably have a lot more respect for other people too. You've probably heard on different podcasts and such, people talking about how porn is addictive and what it does to your brain, and you start to look at women as objects instead of actual people. And when you just get on these apps like Tinder and all these dating things and you're just looking for hookups, looking to satisfy yourself, just selfish desires in these relationships, well, you're going to respect those people less because all you care about is satisfying yourself and getting a certain feeling through that person. And you'd also be high value because you wouldn't be sleeping with people. You have something that you don't just give away to everybody. You'd likely have higher marriage rates at younger ages because when people do want to have sex and they actually wait till they get married, they meet a person and they realize, I want to have sex with this person, I want to be with them, and then you get married to them. Not to say that wanting to have sex is a reason to get married, but hopefully you'd be a little bit smarter in the head with the more self-control you'd have, because it takes self-control to not do that, and there would probably be a lot less cheating and lower divorce rates. Because if you wait 20 plus years to actually have sex with someone, you have the self-control to go that long, and only sleep with your spouse after you get married, you're going to be way more trusting that that person's not going to go out and cheat on you, because if they can wait that long to only sleep with you, why can't they have control to only sleep with you and not go and sleep with other people? Again, you'd respect each other more, and there'd be less emotional trauma that everyone says they have from all these crazy relationships. And if you're not sleeping with someone, it's way easier to break up with them and stay broken up because you don't have that bond, that attachment that was meant for the marriage bed. But I'd love to hear what you think in the comments of why it wouldn't be a good thing for people to have more self-control, to wait until they get married to have sex, because the only reason not to is because you're selfish and you don't want to have self-control. And Greg Doucette here is a nearly 50-year-old self-proclaimed relationship coach. When he's doing a lot of the same things that these young guys are doing, talking about finding younger women to be with, and he's not married, he doesn't have kids. That's not to say you have to be married and have kids to tell people how to have relationships, but the whole point of having that relationship of dating is to find someone you're going to marry in the long run, if you're not just sleeping around and looking to satisfy yourself. And if you don't want to get married to someone, then that just shows that you don't really have a commitment and you're always going to be looking for the next best thing. So if I meet someone when I'm dating them, like when I was dating my wife, I let her know, hey, the whole reason that I want to be dating is because I'm looking for somebody to marry. And if there comes a point in our relationship that I see, okay, those aren't the qualities I see in you anymore, we'll break up. And we talked about that often and worked out. We've been married for 16 years now. And yes, this is coming from a Christian worldview perspective, and you don't like it because it means that you're doing something that you shouldn't.
Saying all of this, I don't hate you. In fact, I still love you very much.
Do you really? Love you very much.
I know deep down you're a good person, you just need to work on yourself.
And there we come to it. He says, even with all this stuff, I still love you very much. Why is that? Because of that sexual bond that's meant for the marriage covenant between a man and a woman. And you think, oh, I don't think you're a bad person. Well, that's where we differ, because everyone is bad. No one is good. There is not one. The Bible talks about this. And if you say, well, I don't believe in the Bible or anything, or what you think about sexuality, people should be able to have sex with whoever they want without consequences. I basically made the same comment in his video, and someone replied, sex is not only meant for marriage, and your religion or culture perhaps, there are many ways to have deep intimacy with someone, sex is just one of them. And I responded, but if people are created and the creator sets the standards, then it is meant just for marriage. You can say that we weren't created, but then to be intellectually consistent, you wouldn't have any basis for morality. And then of course people always say, well, if you need a higher being to have morality, well then just keep believing that, or you don't need a creator to have morals. But here's what it comes down to. If you just believe we evolved from nothing, things happen by chance, then there really is no morality, because who's to say that what I believe is right or what you believe is right? People in other countries have totally different standards, and we think, oh, that's bad. Think of the Middle East and how women are treated versus in the US. Who's right, who's wrong? You can't say anyone's right or wrong because there's no basis for it. How can one person tell another one and hold them to a standard that you think is right if your brain just occurred from nothing? Whereas if someone created you, a higher being, right, and then put you here and made a law and set that over everyone, everyone is held to the same standard. And this standard that is set isn't something that's crazy. It's literally would make everyone's lives better. So unfortunately, you know, I like Greg Doucette's fitness advice and all that, but when it comes to the life coaching and relationships, that's just not the best advice out there. However, I do like his supplements. I use creatine, pre-workouts, protein powders all the time. You can check that out. I have a link in the description. You know, just because I disagree with the guy doesn't mean I'm not going to use the supplements that have been working for me. But I'm going to tell you what I think about stuff. I'm not just going to say, oh, everything he says is great, because I might make a tiny bit of money that really doesn't even pay for what I spend on my own supplements. But, you know, that's how it is. If you can be self-controlled, your life will be a whole lot better. It really makes me sad seeing the way this Tinder app stuff is, people using OnlyFans, just doing whatever they want to get money quick, always taking the easy road. It makes me sad for the perspective on my 4 girls that I have and the type of guys that are out there, or for my sons, the type of women that are out there. And I'm just trying to train them to be like, self-control is important. I tell my kids these same things all the time. But let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video, even though you probably didn't like it because most people disagree with this, but hopefully it might make you think and maybe just consider, perhaps it would be better for me if I was more abstinent and waited until I found that right person and got married to her. Maybe your life will be better.